our next guest is Georg Seifert. Georg is a Bauhaus University graduate. He is a type designer and a software developer. His typeface families, Graublau Son and Graublau Slab, have become international bestsellers. He co-developed the typeface of the New Berlin Airport, and he is most well known for the font editor Glyphs, which he first released in 2011. Please welcome Georg.
So, yeah, thanks. Thank you for this introduction. Thank you for KJ in tricking me to giving this talk. So he was inviting me to giving a workshop the other day, and then he, when I agreed to that, he said, and there's a talk for you to give. And it's like, okay, what should I do? So, and I didn't have given a talk for an audience like that in a lot of years, because I have a really good colleague who is much better in speaking in front of audiences, and he's doing all the talking, and I do the background work normally. So you get me today and not my colleagues. So. And so yeah, I have to check. No. I don't see my notes. So I'm sorry, I need to. Here. So no. Yeah. And yeah, I'm today here to tell the story why I'm here. So I'm not an accomplished type designer or illustrator or like all what you see in the afternoon with this beautiful artwork, and I don't read and speak Arabic at all. I know a tiny bit by now, but so why I'm here. So the talk will have 3 parts, and one part will be where I come from, and then kind of how I came here, and then slightly bit of where it is going. And so for that, I start with going back almost 20 years and showing you the typefaces I've done, because it's kind of one of the key qualifications I have to start being even considered here. So this is a Graublau, and then I made a slab version for that, and the mono version. So if you not have ideas, milk the old ones. But then I tried some crazy stuff. And then this was all done during my time at the university. And my final project, I want to say one sentence, is about, it's quite interesting. So I tried to do a sans serif Fraktur. There is some ideas about it. It's similar, which you face in Arabic type design. So it's normally Fraktur kind of looks like the bottom parts, which I kind of did on the side, but kind of. It's not really, but so, and it's you could say that it's in Latinization, because Fraktur is a different script than Latin type. It's something else. So but I think I wouldn't say it's Latinization. It's geometrization. Funny word to say it, and I think the same different principles apply to how you get to match Latin and Arabic type. So you don't want to have Latinization, I agree, but there are still a lot of stuff you can do with geometrization, and so it doesn't need to be like old-fashioned, and you can still do good work without being forced into Latin shapes. So another visual, and so the last proper type job I did was the airport in Berlin. I did that with a good friend Alex Branschik from Explicit, and for the monitors who did the signage system. It was a lot of fun to do all this like striped logos all over the place. And now you can see it in action for some years now. And I'm dabbling in some other types lately, so that's just some stuff. So, but how did I start? Or how I didn't start to make a type design app, or how it happened to become Glyphs. So this is the main topic for today. So while I was working on all these typefaces, I had ideas about details, really tiny, small details about how to improve the process. And so I wanted to try them out. And so I made it like a really small test app, basically. It was not meant to be a tool, just like some experimentation. And I played around with it and kept adding ideas. And at some point, after like 2 years of doing that on the side, I said like, wait, I've added so many things I needed just for experimentation, and it ended up to be something that could, with some more things, being a type design tool. And so that I think I started in something like 2005, and in 2008 the thing I was working with looked like that. This is a screenshot from October 2008, so like 3 years in the making. You can see a bunch of stuff is still, you can already see some things, and some things I never even touched since then, but others I did a lot. So from that point, I actually was working on it as a type design tool. But again, I didn't start it as a type design tool. I think I would kind of be insane as me as a graphic design student to think of let's start to make a type design tool. That would be, I would be a bit so. But then I kind of had the ideas of what I was from my design practice. And so what is it what I wanted to get to? So so I wanted to do a design app, not like a font editor, because fonts contain a lot of technical things. I want to do like the beginning. I really want to focus on design and do all, like if at all, do all the technical parts in the background. And so but it still keeps the designer in control over the design, and do automate as much as possible. The other thing I was the very central idea in the beginning was all the tools back then were doing like you open up one letter and drawing that letter, then you close it and you open it a new one and do that. But I thought like letters are never alone. They always have them in some words or in a text or even in a page. So a page is a bit too much, but so a line of text is very good. It's very important to see while drawing the typeface. And so this is and I'm just picking out some of the kind of automating tasks. So by just like you draw your shapes and add these red dots, and by that you get all the positioning for all your marks and all everything. And so you never need to really bother about that anymore, because it's like 2/3 of a normal typeface. It's just these extra letters which just be stuck made from pieces. So you can see you basically draw the gray ones, but the white ones you never need to touch basically, because all that can be automated. And what I was always really interested in is doing stuff like I was always interpolating from the start, even before I used Glyphs. And so this is how it works. You have two masters, and you get all those intermediate steps from it, but also a lot of stuff like you see the blue dots are not where the counters are. So you draw overlapping shapes because it keeps keep them in your design, because you want to. It makes it much easier to change stuff, especially with the A. If you want to move the horizontal bar, if you don't have that as an extra shape, it's a lot of work. And so all that should be done automatically on export, and you never should deal with any intermediate steps. You have your source file, and you get your fonts out of it. So a lot of people back then were rejecting interpolation at all, like more than 10 years ago when I was introducing. I had to really, like, a lot of people were like, no, you have to draw your instances all individually, and this has changed a lot since in the last few years. but also they like do hinting and all kind of other steps on the instances, and then you never, like when you a year later you need to produce new fonts, you end up with these several levels of information, and I didn't like that. So you want to have one focused, and that makes it much easier for people that doesn't have a big workflow in the background. So big companies, they could figure out all these details, but most other people is much too overwhelming. And all that led to a lot of user feedback that they said, okay, finally designing type is fun again. So it was too tedious and too boring that they stopped, and never graphic designers that had done some type, and so they're like, okay, it's fun again. So, and so I had built glyphs and had some of worked quite well, and then I got in touch with Arabic, and I saw a talk by Nadine Shaheen. It might be Turbo Berlin or a TypeCon, I don't know really. And she explained how Arabic type design would work. And I couldn't believe that, because it's my first thought was, how unfair is that? So in Latin, it's kind of tedious enough to do 200 letters and then just do some kerning and export and fine. But all this stuff they had to do with in Arabic. So I think a lot of people they did their shapes one by one, look at one shape, and then draw another one, and draw another one, then send the file off to some expert, wait for a month, and then get the file back, and then see how it works in connection. Because I never could try it out before. Just have their single images. And they're like, wait, this can be, I can do it better with that. And so there are a few things I needed to do. So I had the word context already, which is as important in Latin as in Arabic. In Arabic, much more because of the connections. You have not only the spacing to consider, but also the tension and all the rhythm of the connecting parts. So I had to figure out how to lay out letters in right to left context, and how the marks work. But I had the marks, all the mark stuff kind of done already for the Latin part. So the technical is very similar, even though it looks very different. But so I had to code some stuff that would generate, normally you would have to write that out by hand as a designer, but in Glyphs you can. I just thought that's very easy for a computer to make. So just automate that. So now I want to show some details, and if you some people might close your eyes because it's all my designs. I did during a workshop in Dubai and KJ was sitting next to me giving me some hints, but I think in a lot of cases it might not be really it's not a good design, but it's good to brag, show us bad places, and you can think about how to improve it. So this is basically what you need. If you look at the basic, very simple Arabic, you need 300 glyphs, but those here are the ones that are actually individual shapes. And so this is kind of what you would draw in before you do all those things, and then send it off, and then you can try it and you see what's wrong or not. So you see the connection from the B. What is the next one? I had some letters I know, but I can read, but I'm not. So the terroir it doesn't look nice. You can see. So, but then if you have the text as a thing, you can't change it. But then here in Glyphs, you just can go in, click on the letter, and you fix it. And then you go to the next one, and you can see all the combinations, and so. And yeah, that was basically it. Was pretty easy, or not easy, but it was easy enough to fix. And I think it helped a lot for a lot of people, and I got mentioned a few times during the day already. And so, and then you remember the screenshot I showed you before, and this is how it looks now. So we have an Arabic translation of the whole app, and And it's quite funny to me to see, like, it really disturbs me because I know when let's say I switch to Chinese, so I have also Chinese translation and all a lot of other languages. And if I look at the user interface, normally even if it's in Chinese, I know where stuff is because I know where the buttons are. But now everything is not there anymore. But it's quite fun. So, and if you find like the translation was mostly done by Shahat Mohammed from Cairo. She's a designer. I never met her, but she was really passionate and did a very good job, I think. So, but I'm happy to discuss. So there were a lot of typographic terms which might not be so easy in Arabic. So we might need to discuss and get in some discussion, but maybe not, I think. So yeah, but by the time I got into contact with a lot of Arabic people got into touch, Qajar is using Glyphs since it was released in 2011. And then I met Huda. She had a talk this morning, and we gave some. She invited me to give a workshop in Dubai, and I have a picture of it. So here you can see Huda is almost not to see in the doesn't like. So there's Huda in the back with a shadow in the face, and it's Lara in the front, and KJ. So that was really fun. And so but then I had Arabic. I'm still working on it. There are a lot of details here and there I need to fix, of course, like everything else. But then I was like, that worked well. What I could do more. So it's by the time, like, I thought, like, I had the idea, okay, Latin. It's not only type design. It's not only Latin. There's a lot of other things to do, and I thought, like, oh, there's even more things. Like, it's not only Arabic. There's the other, like, a whole world ahead of us. And so by the time a friend, Rob Keller, moved to Berlin, he moved to Berlin. He just had finished his master's in Reading, and he did a Devanagari type. And so I just went to, like, he lived just a few blocks away from where I was living. And so I went there with my daughter. I had to get her out and take walks with her. And so oh shit. So, and I ended up like taking a walk, end up in his place, and we're sitting there with our computers while she was hopefully sleeping, and worked on the Devanagari for maybe 2 years because it's super complicated. And I will give you a tiny bit of intro of how it works, and it's very simplified probably. What is going on here? So here you see this is several stages of how Arabic works. Devanagari works. The first line is what? So the first line is what you actually type, and so you type a letter, and that is an S and a T and an I and an. I started with my name and messed it up to show more things. An S, then this comma thing, a T. The hook is an I and an F. Then there is the F, and the dot makes it. Then the dot, then this thing above is an E, and the R, a comma again, and a T again. So then some processing starts. So you see the first two. Now you can see see it in color. That might be a bit more easy to understand what's going on. So the first two merge or go together, and you cut off the vertical line from the first letter. Then the ra in the end will become this hook on top. So, and then there's another step where stuff is moved around. You see the blue, the E, the hook is moved to the front, and the ref is moved to the end. And then one stop is missing that the positioning is fixed. So figuring that out without, like this, there are several steps in the processing, and figuring that out without understanding what is going on was a nightmare. And it's all written in the spec, but the spec is written in a way that they expect you know that how it works. So that was quite a challenge. But eventually we figured it out and managed to get it to work. And then I thought about Chinese. That's funny. And so the Chinese is completely different. So the layout is super simple. A letter, another letter, done. But, shit, come. What's going on? So this is a basic Chinese font. This is the minimum you need. And I needed to make it as an image because if you put it in like a text, it would take 30 seconds to show. So in Keynote, it would take 30 seconds to show the slide. So, and then we need a completely different set of tools for the. What's going on? Should I try another? So, sorry. So you need a completely different set of tools. No OpenType, nothing, no fancy layout. So we came up with a solution. It's called Smart Components, and so we can have these glyphs that have more. Like it's not only a simple component, but it has more information, where you can change the shape and interpolate between different stages of that glyph, and that makes it adaptable in different conditions. So you might you have the same shapes in the same space in different contexts, but sometimes it needs more space. There's more stuff on the side, and you need more. It needs to kind of tuck in a bit and need to change the size. And so this helps a lot with the design. And also you see how the metrics are drawn. There's no baseline. It kind of shows where the Latin lines are, just to give a slight reference. But then you have these extra lines around, so to know how, the outer lines is for the really dense ones, and the inner ones are for the less dense ones. So, and so that is kind of about a lot of more things going on. And lately we are focusing more on adding support for minority scripts and lesser famous scripts. And so this is Javanese, for example. And so by now, so this more normally means just defining the glyph set and making names for all the glyphs, because all in Unicode they have a bit, the names are not so nice, and you need to work. But I usually work with, if there's someone coming and saying, okay, I'm working on the font for something, and then I tell them I work with them together to add support, because I don't know anything about those things. I can technically read the specs and can do stuff, but there's always something else going on, and so I only do add stuff when someone asks for it. So, and this is the scripts we have now. We have properly support with glyph set and everything. There's a lot more scripts which have lesser support, and so this is kind of the why I came here, because of all this. So, and now a small look ahead of what again. I know it's supposed to be black now. So so there's a bunch of stuff that was invented to OpenType in the last few years, and one is variable font, and variable fonts do interpolate on the client, so you don't need to send them all these extra styles. So you can do you have one file that you can adjust with sliders and stuff. Who has used the variable font or knows what the variable font is? Okay. So here's just a small. This is the ABC Arizona from Dynamo Type, and you can see this has 3 axes: is the weight, the contrast, and the serif axis. And this is super useful. So we use it on our website, and it's very super useful for doing typography. But you also can do stuff like that. So this is a variable font. So this is a font you can use on a website, and then do all this kind of funny info. I really love the guy who's making his own house. So this was done by Thomas Meyer, the designer and researcher from Vienna or from Graz. Where is he from? But he lives in Berlin now. So. And another big topic is color fonts. They were actually added by Apple, the first iteration, because they wanted to sell iPhones in Japan. And Japan has emojis. And for the emojis, you need some colors. And they wanted to have it in text, so they added to Unicode, blah, blah, blah. And at some point, all the other major companies added their own way of adding colors to the font, and all of those are in OpenType now. So yeah, you can do stuff like this is why color fonts were invented. And so it's even a falafel emoji now. Who knows? But as usual, so underwear comes in and shows what's actually possible. So this is a typeface, and you can even like change the colors on the fly. You can like move stuff, and that's really funny. So it's almost there, and if you'd be interested about all the details Glyphs can do, we have a ton of stuff on our website. Several dozen really great tutorials and some videos, and so have a look there. And thank you.